Hello there and welcome to the Card Grotto. Today I'm going to be doing some floral watercolouring with Inkadinkado brush markers, and I'm going to be using this stamp set here. This is new from Studio Katia for May 2018, and it's the Lovely Blooms stamp set, and as you can see it's a really pretty floral image as the sort of main image of the set. So I have some Holtz watercolour cardstock here, and I've prepped that with an anti-static powder tool, and then I'm going to ink up my stamp with Versamark ink. I'm making sure to apply lots of ink here. It's a really detailed image, and then I can stamp that down, and I'm using the mini MISTI here just because it is quite a large image and I don't have an acrylic block that big. So doing a little bit of CPR here on my mini MISTI. Like I said, it's a very detailed image, and then I can remove that piece and then add some embossing powder onto it. And I decided to use detail white embossing powder today just because, like I said, the image is quite detailed, and I think it helped a little bit to have that detail. It's a little bit of a finer milled embossing powder. So just sprinkling that on, and then I can funnel the rest of that embossing powder back into the jar with that coffee filter. And then I can heat set that until it's completely melted. And then I'm going to attach this onto the Epicurean board. So I'm going to use some purple tape here just to stick that down. You could use any tape, painter's tape or anything like that, but I quite like this purple tape. And this is going to help prevent the cardstock from warping too much when I add the water. So I'm going to colour the image with Inkadinkado brush markers. And I've got some swatches here just so that I know what the colours look like when they're sort of painted on. I've got a pot of water and some paint brushes, and then I thought I would just share with you my new little brush holder. This is a really cute little Panda. It's actually made for chopsticks, to hold chopsticks, but I thought it would work really well for paintbrushes as well. So like I said, I'm colouring in the image with Inkadinkado brush markers, and I like to go round the outline of where I'm colouring to be the darkest shade. However you want to sort of shade your image, I add the colour sort of first and then push it out with the water and the paintbrush. I think it gives quite a nice depth to the image. I am not too concerned about how well it's blending at the moment because I'm going to add more layers over the top, but I like to sort of go in first of all to sort of lay down where my darkest shades are going to be and the lightest shades. I'm using Holtz watercolour cardstock, like I said, and I know a lot of people really dislike it with Inkadinkado brush markers or any of the type of watercolour markers. Personally, I really like it. I've had no problems sort of blending or anything like that, at least how I'm happy with the blending. But if you are, I would advise using Bristol cardstock. I think that they work really nicely on that as well. I just happen to really like this watercolour cardstock, and it's really nice bright white. So this image did take me quite a long time to colour, about 45 minutes, but I did enjoy colouring it in. So I'm going to leave all of the colouring in for you to see. I did skip a couple of places, but pretty much it's all in there. So I'm going to play some music and let you watch while I colour. Once I'd finished colouring in the bulk of the image, I like to go in and add a little bit of extra colour around the outside, and I thought I would do that with a light blue shade today. And I like to do it by adding the colour onto a craft sheet or something like that. This is an Avery Owl stamp pocket with a little bit of cardstock inside, just so that I can see the colour. And I add the colour onto that directly from the marker, and then go in with the paintbrush and water just to spread that out. And I think it gives a softer wash. So once I'd finished doing that, I'm going to work on my sentiment. So this is the new birthday greetings stamp set from Studio Katia. It's just a really great set, as you can see. It's got some great sentiments in it, especially for sort of crafty friends and things like that. I just thought it was really nice. So I'm using the Have an Awesome Birthday stamp. I've got a piece of black cardstock here, and I've prepped that with the anti-static tool, inking that up with Versamark ink, and then I can stamp that down onto my cardstock. I'm going to apply the same detail white embossing powder to this and just tap off any excess, and then I can heat set that. And then I want to cut this down, so I'm going to use a metal ruler and a craft knife. I do apologise for my head getting in the way here, but I wanted to make sure that that ruler was straight. So I'm going to use that just to cut down that sentiment into a little banner. And then here is my finished piece. I've left it to dry, and I'm just removing that purple tape. It did kind of get a little bit of that cardstock up. It did rip a little bit of it. I'm not sure how well obviously it works on other cardstocks. I've actually only used it on watercolour cardstock from Tim Holtz, but I do still like the tape. And then I'm going to cut that piece down. This is the Dotted Pattern Scallop frame die. This is the larger frame from that set. And I'm going to die cut that out, so I can just add a little bit of removable tape along the top and run that through my die cutting machine. And then to attach this panel onto my card, I'm going to be using some foam sheet. I've just added some double-sided tape onto the back of that, and then adding it to an A2 sized white card base. And here I've got my sentiment, and I'm going to add that on with some clear foam tape on the back of that. And I'm just using my T-square ruler just to make sure that that's straight. And I've got some really beautiful loads of embellishments here from Studio Katia. These are all of the new ones, so you've got lots of jewels and confetti and flowers and stars, really pretty. I'm not using all of these today, so I wanted to share them with you. Some chunky glitter and some confetti and things like that, really beautiful. So if you're interested, please do take a look. But I'm using the Spring Jewels assortment for my card today. Some really pretty pastel shades in there. I'm just using the clear because I think that works best for the design of my card, and I really like them because they kind of look like raindrops. They're completely clear, so I'm adding those on with some multi-medium matte glue and just using a jewel picker there to pick them up. And then I've got one of them in the bead tray here, which is really helpful because then I can funnel them back into the packet afterwards as well. So once that multi-medium matte dries, they're completely clear. Like I said, really pretty. And so that's my card finished for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Links to the products will be in the description bar on YouTube and also over on my blog. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.